Genetics play a significant role in the development of many health conditions, including thyroid problems. The thyroid gland is regulated by a complex system of hormones, and some individuals are genetically predisposed to conditions that affect its function. This means that if someone in your family has experienced thyroid issues, you may be at a higher risk of developing similar problems. This hereditary tendency often manifests in autoimmune thyroid diseases, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid gland, leading to conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Graves' disease. Research has shown that individuals with a family history of thyroid disorders are more likely to develop these conditions themselves, as certain genetic markers have been identified that are linked to thyroid disease. For example, a person who has a close family member with hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism may have an increased chance of experiencing thyroid dysfunction due to these inherited genetic traits. While genes alone don't guarantee that someone will develop thyroid problems, they certainly increase the likelihood. In addition to autoimmune thyroid diseases, genetic factors can also influence the way the thyroid responds to environmental triggers such as stress or dietary habits. This means that even though one person may be more susceptible to thyroid issues based on their genetic makeup, lifestyle factors can also play a key role in the development and progression of the disease. Therefore, a person with a family history of thyroid disease should be vigilant about regular thyroid screenings and monitoring, especially as they age or experience changes in their health. Understanding the genetic connection to thyroid helps us recognize that these disorders are not simply a result of personal choices or environmental factors, but are also influenced by inherited traits. Autoimmune disorders are among the most common causes of thyroid problems, with two of the most prevalent being Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. In both conditions, the body's immune system, which is supposed to protect the body from foreign invaders like bacteria and viruses, mistakenly attacks its own cells, in this case, the thyroid gland. This results in a range of symptoms and thyroid dysfunctions that can have a significant impact on a person's health. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the most common cause of hypothyroidism, occurs when the immune system targets the thyroid, leading to inflammation and gradual damage. As the thyroid becomes damaged, it becomes less able to produce thyroid hormones, which are essential for regulating metabolism, energy levels, and overall body function. This can result in symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, depression, and cold intolerance. Over time, if left untreated, Hashimoto's can lead to severe hypothyroidism and even thyroid failure. On the other hand, Graves' disease is the leading cause of hyperthyroidism, a condition where the thyroid becomes overactive and produces excessive amounts of thyroid hormones. This overproduction leads to an acceleration of bodily functions, causing symptoms such as rapid heartbeat, weight loss, irritability, and anxiety. Graves' disease is often accompanied by bulging eyes, a condition known as Graves' orbitopathy, which affects a significant number of patients. The exact cause of Graves' disease is still not entirely understood, but it is believed that genetic and environmental factors contribute to the autoimmune response. The impact of autoimmune thyroid disorders extends beyond the thyroid gland itself. The imbalance in thyroid hormone production caused by these conditions can have wide-reaching effects throughout the body. Thyroid hormones regulate critical systems, including the cardiovascular, nervous, and reproductive systems, so any disruption can lead to complications in other parts of the body. Autoimmune thyroid conditions may also increase the risk of other autoimmune diseases, creating a compounding effect on health. Furthermore, autoimmune thyroid disorders are more common in women than in men, with women being up to 10 times more likely to develop these conditions. The reasons for this gender discrepancy are still unclear, though hormonal differences and the way the immune system operates in men and women may play a role. The onset of autoimmune thyroid disease often occurs during major hormonal changes, such as pregnancy, childbirth, or menopause, which further suggests a link between hormones and autoimmune thyroid disorders. Treatment for autoimmune thyroid problems typically involves managing the hormone imbalance, either through hormone replacement therapy for hypothyroidism, like synthetic thyroid hormones, or medications to reduce the production of thyroid hormones in hypothyroidism. In more severe cases, surgery or radioactive iodine treatment may be necessary. However, because autoimmune conditions can fluctuate over time and may be influenced by external triggers like stress or infections, managing them often requires ongoing care and monitoring by healthcare professionals. The prevalence and significant impact of autoimmune thyroid disorders underscore the importance of recognizing the connection between the immune system and thyroid function, as well as the need for early detection and treatment to prevent long-term complications. Iodine is an essential mineral that plays a crucial role in the production of thyroid hormones, which regulate metabolism, growth, and development. Without enough iodine in the body, the thyroid gland cannot produce adequate amounts of hormones, leading to thyroid problems. The most common result of iodine deficiency is hypothyroidism, a condition in which the thyroid is unable to produce sufficient thyroid hormones. In severe cases, iodine deficiency can lead to a condition known as goiter, where the thyroid gland enlarges in an attempt to compensate for its inability to produce hormones. Iodine deficiency has been a significant public health issue worldwide, particularly in areas where iodine-rich foods are scarce, and iodized salt has not been widely used. This deficiency can cause a variety of symptoms, including fatigue, weight gain, sensitivity to cold, constipation, and depression, all of which are characteristic of hypothyroidism. In extreme cases, iodine deficiency can lead to intellectual and developmental delays in children, making it especially critical for pregnant women to ensure they have adequate iodine intake for the health of their unborn children. Historically, iodine deficiency was a widespread issue, particularly in mountainous regions or areas far from the coast, where iodine-rich seafood and other natural sources were difficult to obtain. In these areas, people would often develop goiters, which are visible enlargements of the thyroid gland in the neck. However, thanks to public health initiatives, such as the widespread adoption of iodized salt in many countries, iodine deficiency has been significantly reduced in many parts of the world. Iodized salt, introduced in the early 20th century, has been one of the most successful public health interventions to address iodine deficiency and its related thyroid issues. It has been credited with the virtual elimination of iodine deficiency in many developed countries, contributing to a dramatic reduction in thyroid disorders linked to iodine deficiency. However, despite these efforts, iodine deficiency is still a concern in some parts of the world, particularly in developing countries or areas with limited access to iodized salt. In these regions, iodine deficiency remains a leading cause of preventable thyroid disorders. Additionally, some factors can interfere with the body's ability to absorb iodine from food, such as certain dietary habits or environmental factors. For example, goitrogens, substances found in certain foods like soy, cabbage, and cassava, can interfere with iodine uptake and potentially exacerbate the effects of iodine deficiency. This is especially concerning in areas where these foods are staple parts of the diet. While iodine deficiency is less common in developed nations, there are still certain at-risk populations. Pregnant women and young children are particularly vulnerable, as their bodies require more iodine to support fetal development and growth. Even mild iodine deficiency during pregnancy can lead to complications such as miscarriage, preterm birth, and developmental problems in the baby. As a result, many healthcare organizations recommend iodine supplementation during pregnancy, particularly in areas where iodine deficiency remains a risk. On the other hand, it's also important to note that both iodine deficiency and iodine excess can cause thyroid problems. While deficiency can lead to hypothyroidism, excessive iodine intake can also disrupt thyroid function, potentially leading to hyperthyroidism. This is why maintaining the right balance of iodine is essential for thyroid health. In developed countries where iodine deficiency is less of a concern, excessive use of iodine containing supplements or certain medical treatments like contrast dyes can sometimes lead to thyroid dysfunction. In summary, iodine is a vital nutrient for maintaining healthy thyroid function, and a deficiency can lead to a range of thyroid problems, most notably hypothyroidism. Ensuring adequate iodine intake through a balanced diet or supplementation is crucial for preventing thyroid issues, particularly in vulnerable populations like pregnant women and young children. Public health efforts to prevent iodine deficiency have made significant strides, but attention must still be given to maintaining iodine levels and addressing any emerging concerns related to both deficiency and excess age and gender are two key factors that significantly influence the likelihood of developing thyroid problems. The thyroid, a vital gland responsible for producing hormones that regulate metabolism, growth, and energy levels, is sensitive to changes that occur naturally in the body over time. As people age, their thyroid function can change, and women, in particular, are more likely to experience thyroid disorders at certain stages of life. Understanding how these factors interact can help in early detection and management of thyroid conditions. Age plays a pivotal role in the onset of thyroid problems. Hypothyroidism, in particular, becomes more common as people age, especially in individuals over the age of 60. As the body ages, the thyroid may become less efficient in producing hormones, which can lead to a gradual decline in thyroid function. This can manifest as subtle symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, depression, and cold intolerance, which are often mistaken for signs of normal aging. Because these symptoms can be attributed to a variety of causes, thyroid problems may go undiagnosed in older adults, leading to an increased risk of complications if left untreated. Moreover, thyroid problems in older adults can be more challenging to diagnose due to the overlap of symptoms with other age conditions, such as heart disease, arthritis, or cognitive decline. For example, a slower heart rate, which is common in hypothyroidism, can be misinterpreted as a normal part of the aging process. Additionally, older adults may be taking multiple medications for various health issues, which can sometimes mask or complicate the recognition of thyroid dysfunction. Regular screening for thyroid problems in older individuals is therefore crucial to prevent delayed diagnosis and ensure timely treatment. Gender is another significant factor when it comes to thyroid health. Women are far more likely than men to develop thyroid disorders, with an estimated 10 times higher incidence rate of thyroid problems in women. This gender disparity can be attributed to hormonal differences, particularly the fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone that occur during key life stages such as puberty, pregnancy, and menopause. These hormonal changes can affect the thyroid gland and contribute to the development of thyroid disorders such as autoimmune thyroid disease, which is much more common in women. The onset of thyroid problems in women is often linked to reproductive events. For example, women who experience pregnancy may be at an increased risk of developing thyroid issues, particularly postpartum thyroiditis, which can cause temporary thyroid dysfunction after childbirth. This condition typically results in hyperthyroidism that can later transition to hypothyroidism. Postpartum thyroiditis is particularly common in women with a history of autoimmune thyroid disease or those with other autoimmune conditions. Additionally, during pregnancy, the body requires more thyroid hormones, which can sometimes overwhelm the thyroid's ability ability to produce enough, leading to thyroid dysfunction. Untreated thyroid problems during pregnancy can increase the risk of complications such as preterm birth, low birth weight, and developmental delays in the baby. Menopause is another phase of life where women may experience thyroid issues. The hormonal changes that accompany menopause, particularly the decrease in estrogen, can have an impact on thyroid function. Some studies suggest that women undergoing menopause may be more susceptible to autoimmune thyroid disease, as well as thyroid enlargement, goiter, especially if they have a family history of thyroid disorders. The decline in estrogen during menopause can also affect how the thyroid responds to certain hormones, which can exacerbate symptoms of thyroid dysfunction, particularly in individuals already predisposed to thyroid problems. Although thyroid problems are more common in women, men are not immune to thyroid dysfunction. When men do develop thyroid issues, they tend to experience different symptoms than women, and these symptoms may be less obvious or more subtle. For instance, men with hypothyroidism may notice symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, and depression, but they may not experience the same overt changes in hair and skin texture that women often report. Because of this, thyroid disorders in men may sometimes go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Furthermore, men are more likely to develop certain types of thyroid cancer, which, although less common than other thyroid disorders, requires attention and early detection. In summary, both age and gender play significant roles in the development of thyroid disorders. As people age, particularly women, the risk of thyroid dysfunction increases, and recognizing the specific challenges associated with age thyroid changes is key for timely diagnosis and treatment. Women, in particular, experience a higher incidence of thyroid problems due to hormonal fluctuations, making them more susceptible to autoimmune thyroid diseases, pregnancy thyroid issues, and thyroid imbalances during menopause. By understanding the link between thyroid health, age, and gender, individuals can be more proactive in monitoring and managing their thyroid function, leading to better overall health outcomes. Stress, both physical and emotional, is a powerful force that can have a profound impact on the body, and one of the key areas affected is thyroid function. The thyroid, which plays a vital role in regulating metabolism, energy levels, and overall bodily processes, is intricately linked to the body's stress response. Chronic stress, in particular, can create a cascade of hormonal changes that disrupt the delicate balance of thyroid hormones, potentially leading to thyroid dysfunction. Understanding how stress impacts thyroid health is crucial in managing and preventing thyroid disorders. When the body is under stress, the adrenal glands, which sit on top of the kidneys, release cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Cortisol helps the body respond to stress by increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and energy levels. However, if stress becomes chronic, the adrenal glands may continue to pump out cortisol in excessive amounts. High levels of cortisol can interfere with the thyroid's ability to function properly. Cortisol has a direct effect on the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid (HPT) axis, which is the hormonal feedback loop that regulates thyroid hormone production. High cortisol levels can disrupt this axis, leading to a decrease in thyroid-stimulating hormone (TSH), which in turn affect the production of thyroid hormone T4. In particular, cortisol can inhibit the conversion of the inactive thyroid hormone T4 into the active form T3. When this conversion is impaired, the body may experience symptoms of hypothyroidism, such as fatigue, weight gain, and depression, even though the thyroid may not be fundamentally dysfunctional. This condition is often referred to as functional hypothyroidism, where the thyroid appears to be functioning normally, but the body's ability to use thyroid hormones is compromised due to the effects of stress. Chronic stress can also contribute to autoimmune thyroid disorders, which are among the most common causes of thyroid dysfunction. Autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease occur when the immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid gland. While the exact cause of autoimmune thyroid disorders is not fully understood, stress is believed to play a role in triggering or exacerbating these conditions. Stress can influence the immune system by increasing inflammation and altering immune responses, making the body more prone to attacking its own thyroid tissue. In fact, many individuals who experience a sudden increase in stress or a stressful event may notice that their thyroid symptoms worsen or new thyroid problems emerge. Additionally, emotional stress can impact lifestyle behaviors that affect thyroid health. When people are under stress, they may adopt poor eating habits, neglect exercise, or fail to get adequate sleep, all of which can negatively affect thyroid function. For example, stress may lead to poor dietary choices, such as an increased intake of sugar, caffeine, or processed foods, which can worsen inflammation and contribute to an imbalance in thyroid hormones. Stress-induced changes in lifestyle can also exacerbate pre-existing thyroid conditions, making it even more difficult for individuals to manage their symptoms. Sleep disturbances are another common consequence of stress that can impact thyroid health. Stress often leads to difficulty falling or staying asleep, and inadequate rest can worsen thyroid dysfunction. Poor sleep disrupts the body's natural thyroid dysfunction, which is linked to the production of thyroid hormones. During deep sleep, the body regenerates and balances various bodily processes, including hormone production. Chronic sleep deprivation can interfere with this process, leading to dysregulated thyroid hormone levels and exacerbating symptoms of fatigue, weight gain, and mood disturbances commonly associated with thyroid problems. Interestingly, the relationship between stress and thyroid health is bidirectional. While chronic stress can trigger or worsen thyroid dysfunction, thyroid imbalances can also make the body more susceptible to stress. For example, individuals with hypothyroidism often experience low energy levels, brain fog, and irritability, which can increase stress levels and make it harder for the body to cope with external stressors. This creates a vicious cycle in which thyroid problems and stress feed into each other, making it more challenging to break the cycle and restore balance. Given the strong connection between stress and thyroid health, managing stress becomes a key component in preventing and treating thyroid disorders. Adopting stress-reducing practices such as mindfulness meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, and regular physical activity can help regulate cortisol levels and support thyroid function. Additionally, ensuring a healthy work-life balance and addressing emotional stressors can improve overall well-being and help maintain thyroid health. Cognitive behavioral therapy and other forms of counseling can also be helpful for individuals dealing with chronic stress, as they provide tools to better cope with life's challenges and reduce the negative impact of stress on the body. In conclusion, stress is a significant factor in the development and progression of thyroid problems. Chronic stress can disrupt the delicate hormonal balance that governs thyroid function, leading to symptoms of thyroid dysfunction. It can also trigger or worsen autoimmune thyroid diseases, as well as affect lifestyle choices that further impair thyroid health. Managing stress through relaxation techniques, healthy habits, and emotional support is essential for maintaining optimal thyroid function and overall health. By recognizing the impact of stress on the thyroid, individuals can take proactive steps to reduce its effects and improve their quality of life. Environmental toxins, also known as endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs, are substances found in the environment that interfere with the body's hormonal systems, including thyroid function. These chemicals can be found in many everyday products such as plastics, pesticides, cosmetics, and even household cleaning products. Over time, exposure to these toxins can contribute to thyroid dysfunction, either by disrupting the normal production of thyroid hormones or by interfering with the thyroid's ability to effectively use the hormones it produces. The increasing presence of environmental toxins in modern society has raised concerns about their potential role in the rising incidence of thyroid problems worldwide. One of the most well-known groups of endocrine disrupting chemicals are the persistent organic pollutants, POPs, which include substances like polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, and certain pesticides. These chemicals are termed persistent because they do not break down easily in the environment and can accumulate in the body over time. POPs have been shown to interfere with the synthesis, metabolism, and action of thyroid hormones, which can lead to both hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid, and hyperthyroidism, overactive thyroid. Studies have found that exposure to certain POPs can reduce the levels of thyroid hormones in the blood, potentially leading to developmental and cognitive impairments, especially in children who are exposed to these chemicals during pregnancy or early childhood. Another significant category of environmental toxins that can impact thyroid health is heavy metals. Metals like mercury, lead, and cadmium are known to be toxic to the thyroid gland. Mercury, in particular, is found in certain types of fish, dental amalgams, and industrial processes, and it has been shown to inhibit the production of thyroid hormones. Lead exposure, often through contaminated water or old lead-based paints, can also impair thyroid function and disrupt the body's ability to regulate hormone levels. The presence of heavy metals in the environment poses a serious risk to thyroid health, particularly in populations living in areas with higher levels of pollution or exposure to industrial chemicals. Furthermore, bisphenol A, BPA, a widely used chemical found in plastics and food packaging, is another common environmental toxin that has been shown to disrupt thyroid function. BPA can mimic estrogen, a hormone that interacts with the thyroid in complex ways, and this can cause alterations in thyroid hormone production. Studies have shown that BPA exposure can interfere with the body's ability to produce and regulate thyroid hormones, potentially contributing to thyroid imbalances. BPA is particularly concerning because it is pervasive in consumer products, including water bottles, food containers, and thermal paper receipts, making it difficult to avoid. Phthalates, another class of chemicals commonly found in plastic products, have also been linked to thyroid dysfunction. These chemicals are used to increase flexibility in plastics and are found in items such as toys, cosmetics, and medical devices. Phthalates have been shown to interfere with thyroid hormone levels, particularly in individuals who have frequent exposure to products containing these chemicals. Over time, the accumulation of phthalates in the body may contribute to thyroid problems, including both hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. In addition to disrupting thyroid hormone production, many environmental toxins can also increase the body's inflammatory response, which can exacerbate autoimmune thyroid diseases like Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. Environmental toxins can trigger immune system reactions that lead to inflammation, and in some individuals, this can increase the likelihood of developing autoimmune thyroid disorders. Research has shown that exposure to certain pollutants can promote the production of antibodies that target the thyroid gland, leading to conditions where the immune system mistakenly attacks and damages the thyroid tissue. In particular, individuals who are genetically predisposed to autoimmune thyroid diseases may be more vulnerable to the effects of environmental toxins. The impact of environmental toxins on thyroid health can be especially concerning for pregnant women and developing fetuses, as the thyroid plays a critical role in fetal development. Thyroid hormones are essential for brain development, and disruptions in thyroid function during pregnancy can lead to developmental delays, cognitive impairments, and even birth defects. Pregnant women who are exposed to high levels of environmental toxins, such as those found in pesticides or household chemicals, may be at increased risk of thyroid dysfunction, which can affect both their health and the health of their baby. Children, too, are particularly vulnerable to the effects of environmental toxins. Early exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals can interfere with the development of the thyroid and other hormone systems, leading to long-term health consequences. Studies have shown that children who live in areas with high levels of pollution or are exposed to toxic chemicals early in life may be at greater risk of developing thyroid issues as they grow older. This is especially true for children who have compromised immune systems or pre-existing health conditions, as their bodies may be less able to detoxify and protect themselves from environmental toxins. Unfortunately, the growing body of evidence linking environmental toxins to thyroid dysfunction has raised alarms about the long-term consequences of ongoing exposure to these chemicals. While some countries have enacted regulations to limit the use of harmful chemicals like BPA and certain pesticides, many harmful substances remain widely used in products that people encounter on a daily basis. This underscores the importance of raising awareness about the potential risks of environmental toxins and encouraging individuals to take steps to minimize exposure, such as opting for BPA-free products, reducing pesticide use, and avoiding plastics whenever possible. In addition to reducing personal exposure, public health initiatives aimed at reducing environmental pollution and regulating harmful chemicals are essential for protecting thyroid health on a larger scale. Increased research into the effects of environmental toxins on thyroid function, as well as greater regulatory oversight, could help mitigate the risks associated with these chemicals and contribute to better overall health outcomes for individuals and communities. The impact of environmental toxins on thyroid health is a growing concern, and it highlights the need for both individual and collective efforts to address the sources of these toxins. By minimizing exposure and supporting environmental policies that prioritize public health, we can help safeguard thyroid function and reduce the risk of thyroid health problems in the future. Genetics plays a significant role in the development of thyroid problems, as certain genetic factors can predispose individuals to thyroid dysfunction, while environmental and lifestyle factors undoubtedly influence thyroid health. Genetic mutations and family history are key contributors to the development of thyroid diseases. Understanding the genetic component of thyroid disorders can help identify individuals at higher risk, leading to earlier detection, prevention strategies, and more personalized treatment approaches. The role of genetics in thyroid health is complex, involving both inherited conditions and genetic predispositions to autoimmune thyroid diseases, as well as variations in how individuals respond to environmental triggers. Inherited thyroid disorders. Some thyroid conditions are directly inherited through genetic mutations. One example is congenital hypothyroidism, a condition in which infants are born with an underactive thyroid. This condition can result from a genetic defect that affects the development or function of the thyroid gland. Congenital hypothyroidism occurs in approximately 1 in 2,000 to 4,000 live births and is one of the most common preventable causes of intellectual disabilities when left untreated. Genetic mutations that affect thyroid development or the ability to produce thyroid hormones are the primary cause of congenital hypothyroidism. Early diagnosis through newborn screening is crucial for preventing developmental delays and ensuring that the child receives the necessary treatment, usually in the form of thyroid hormone replacement therapy, which is highly effective. In addition to congenital hypothyroidism, other genetic syndromes can lead to thyroid problems. For instance, certain rare inherited syndromes, such as Pendred syndrome and Kalman syndrome, may involve thyroid abnormalities as part of a broader range of symptoms. Pendred syndrome, caused by mutations in the SLC26A4 gene, can lead to both hearing loss and thyroid dysfunction, specifically goiter, enlarged thyroid. Kalman syndrome, which is typically linked to genetic mutations affecting the development of the hypothalamus, can cause hypothyroidism in addition to a lack of puberty and anosmia, loss of the sense of smell. Although these genetic conditions are rare, they illustrate the diverse ways in which genetic mutations can impact thyroid function and health. Autoimmune thyroid diseases and genetic susceptibility. In addition to inherited conditions, genetic predisposition plays a significant role in the development of autoimmune thyroid diseases, such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. In autoimmune thyroid disorders, the body's immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid gland, leading to either an underactive thyroid hypothyroidism in the case of Hashimoto's, or an overactive thyroid hyperthyroidism in the case of Graves' disease. While environmental factors such as infections or stress can trigger these conditions, genetics plays a crucial role in determining an individual's susceptibility. Research has shown that autoimmune thyroid diseases tend to run in families, suggesting a genetic link. The presence of specific genes such as human leukocyte antigen (HLA) genes can increase an individual's susceptibility to autoimmune thyroid conditions. For instance, individuals who have a first-degree relative, parent or sibling with Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, or Graves' disease are at a higher risk of developing these conditions themselves. Specific variants of the HLA-DR gene in particular have been associated with an increased risk of autoimmune thyroid disease. These genes are involved in the immune system's ability to distinguish between the body's own cells and foreign invaders, and certain genetic variations can lead to a failure of this immune tolerance, triggering autoimmune attacks on the thyroid gland. In addition to HLA genes, other genetic factors involved in immune regulation, such as cytokine genes and T-cell receptor genes, can contribute to an individual's susceptibility to autoimmune thyroid disease. Moreover, genetic factors can also influence how the body responds to environmental triggers, such as viral infections or exposure to pollutants, further complicating the relationship between genetics and thyroid dysfunction. Studies have suggested that variations in the interleukin-2 receptor alpha gene, IL-2RA, and other immune genes may also increase the likelihood of developing autoimmune thyroid disease, though more research is needed to fully understand the precise genetic pathways. Gender and genetic factors. Genetics interacts with gender to affect the prevalence of thyroid disorders. Women are more likely to develop autoimmune thyroid diseases, and this is partly due to genetic factors that influence the immune system's response. The interaction between X chromosomes and the immune system has been studied as a possible reason for why women are more susceptible to autoimmune diseases in general, including thyroid disorders. Women have 2 X chromosomes while men have only 1, and certain genetic variations on the X chromosome may lead to a heightened immune response in women. This may increase the likelihood of thyroid dysfunction, particularly autoimmune conditions, in women as compared to men. Additionally, the genetic susceptibility to thyroid disease may vary by ethnic group. Studies have shown that certain populations have a higher incidence of specific thyroid disorders due to genetic factors. For example, individuals of Ashkenazi Jewish descent have a higher prevalence of autoimmune thyroid diseases, such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease, likely due to genetic predispositions that are common within this population. Similarly, Caucasians have a higher risk of autoimmune thyroid diseases compared to African Americans or Asian populations, although thyroid disease still affects individuals of all ethnic backgrounds. Genetic testing and personalized medicine advances in genetic research have led to the development of genetic tests that can help identify individuals at higher risk for certain thyroid disorders. For example, genetic tests can be used to detect specific mutations linked to congenital hypothyroidism or inherited thyroid syndromes. Additionally, genetic testing can be useful in assessing an individual's susceptibility to autoimmune thyroid diseases, enabling early interventions and more personalized treatment approaches. By understanding an individual's genetic makeup, doctors can make more informed decisions about how to manage their thyroid health. In autoimmune thyroid disease, knowing one's genetic risk can help with early detection and monitoring. For example, individuals who are genetically predisposed to Hashimoto's thyroiditis may benefit from more frequent thyroid function tests or proactive measures to manage their immune system's activity. Personalized medicine, which tailors treatment based on an individual's genetic profile, is an emerging field that could revolutionize the treatment of thyroid diseases. Genetic testing may also help identify the most effective therapies for individuals based on their genetic background, improving treatment outcomes and minimizing side effects. In summary, genetic factors play a crucial role in the development and progression of thyroid disorders, from congenital conditions to autoimmune diseases. Inherited genetic mutations can lead to thyroid dysfunction, while genetic susceptibility, particularly to autoimmune thyroid disease, can increase the risk of developing conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. Understanding the genetic underpinnings of thyroid problems allows for more accurate diagnosis, early detection, and personalized treatment approaches. As research continues to uncover the complex relationship between genetics and thyroid health, we may see a more targeted and effective approach to managing thyroid disorders in the future. A poor diet and deficiencies in essential nutrients play a critical role in the development of thyroid problems. The thyroid gland depends on various nutrients to function optimally, and without adequate intake of certain vitamins and minerals, the body can experience thyroid dysfunction. The thyroid's ability to produce and regulate hormones which control metabolism and energy balance is directly influenced by the nutrients in the food we consume. For example, iodine, selenium, zinc, iron, and vitamins like vitamin D and B12 are essential for thyroid health. A lack of these nutrients, whether due to dietary choices, lifestyle factors, or medical conditions, can lead to thyroid imbalances and a range of associated health issues. Iodine deficiency. Iodine is one of the most important nutrients for thyroid health because it is a key component in the production of thyroid hormones, namely thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine T3. Without enough iodine, the thyroid gland cannot produce sufficient thyroid hormones, which leads to hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid. Iodine deficiency is a leading cause of thyroid disease worldwide, particularly in regions where iodine is not naturally abundant in the soil or food supply. In the past, iodine deficiency was widespread in many parts of the world, leading to the creation of iodized salt, which has significantly reduced the incidence of iodine deficiency. However, in certain areas where people rely on non-iodized salt or do not consume iodine-rich foods, iodine deficiency remains a concern. When iodine levels are low, the thyroid compensates by becoming enlarged in an attempt to absorb more iodine. This condition is known as goiter, which is the swelling or enlargement of the thyroid gland in the neck. While goiter is not always associated with hypothyroidism, it often accompanies iodine deficiency. Prolonged iodine deficiency can lead to more severe forms of hypothyroidism, with symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, depression, and sensitivity to cold. In severe cases, iodine deficiency can impair brain development in children, leading to intellectual disabilities, which underscores the importance of ensuring adequate iodine intake throughout pregnancy and childhood. Selenium and zinc deficiencies Selenium and zinc are two trace minerals that are crucial for the proper functioning of the thyroid gland. Selenium, an essential antioxidant, helps protect the thyroid from oxidative stress and plays a role in the conversion of T4 into its active form, T3. A deficiency in selenium can impair thyroid function, leading to symptoms of hypothyroidism. Additionally, selenium deficiency has been linked to autoimmune thyroid diseases such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis, in which the immune system attacks the thyroid gland. Research suggests that selenium supplementation may improve thyroid function and reduce inflammation in individuals with autoimmune thyroid disease. Foods rich in selenium include Brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, and fish such as tuna and salmon. Zinc, another important mineral for thyroid health, is involved in the synthesis of thyroid hormones. Zinc deficiency can lead to hypothyroid-like symptoms such as fatigue, hair loss, and poor concentration. Zinc also helps support the immune system and has been shown to play a role in the immune response that regulates autoimmune thyroid diseases. Zinc deficiency can be caused by a variety of factors including poor dietary intake, gastrointestinal disorders that impair nutrient absorption, and certain medications that interfere with zinc absorption. Rich dietary sources of zinc include oysters, beef, pumpkin seeds, and lentils. Ensuring adequate zinc intake is important for both thyroid function and immune system health. Iron deficiency. Iron is another crucial nutrient for thyroid function as it is involved in the synthesis of thyroid hormones and helps the thyroid convert T4 into T3. Iron deficiency, one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide, can exacerbate hypothyroidism and cause symptoms such as fatigue, weakness, and poor concentration. Iron deficiency anemia is often seen in individuals with low thyroid function, and this condition can create a vicious cycle as both iron deficiency and hypothyroidism contribute to fatigue and overall poor health. Women, particularly those with heavy menstrual periods or during pregnancy, are at higher risk for iron deficiency, making iron-rich foods such as red meat, spinach, and beans important components of the diet. Vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D, which is produced by the body when exposed to sunlight and is also obtained through certain foods, plays an important role in regulating the immune system and maintaining thyroid health. Vitamin D deficiency has been linked to various autoimmune diseases, including autoimmune thyroid diseases like Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. Research suggests that individuals with low vitamin D levels are at a higher risk of developing thyroid dysfunction, and some studies have found that vitamin D supplementation can help improve thyroid function in individuals with deficiency. Vitamin D helps modulate the immune response, and deficiency can lead to an overactive immune system, which may increase the likelihood of autoimmune attacks on the thyroid. Foods rich in vitamin D include fatty fish, fortified dairy products, and egg yolks. Sun exposure is also important for maintaining adequate vitamin D levels. Vitamin B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 is essential for energy production and neurological health, and its deficiency is often seen in individuals with thyroid dysfunction, particularly those with hypothyroidism. The relationship between thyroid function and vitamin B12 levels is complex, but research has shown that a deficiency in vitamin B12 can contribute to symptoms like fatigue, weakness, and mental fog. Moreover, individuals with autoimmune thyroid diseases, such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis, may be at higher risk of vitamin B12 deficiency. People who follow strict vegetarian or vegan diets may be more likely to develop B12 deficiency, as the vitamin is primarily found in animal products such as meat, fish, dairy, and eggs. Supplementation or B12-rich foods may be necessary for individuals at risk of deficiency to support overall thyroid function and energy levels. Poor diet and the impact of processed foods. While specific nutrient deficiencies can directly contribute to thyroid problems, a diet high in processed foods, sugars, and unhealthy fats can also disrupt thyroid function. Diets that are high in processed foods tend to be low in essential nutrients while also being rich in refined sugars and unhealthy fats, which can lead to inflammation and insulin resistance. Chronic inflammation is known to impair thyroid function and contribute to autoimmune thyroid diseases. Additionally, high sugar diets can interfere with the body's ability to regulate hormones, including thyroid hormones, which may exacerbate thyroid dysfunction. The modern Western diet, characterized by fast food, sugary snacks, and processed convenience foods, is often deficient in the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants necessary for optimal thyroid health. A lack of nutrient-dense whole foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can impair the body's ability to produce and utilize thyroid hormones effectively. Furthermore, high levels of unhealthy fats and sugars can increase the risk of obesity, which is a known risk factor for thyroid dysfunction, particularly hypothyroidism. Obesity can lead to a condition known as subclinical hypothyroidism, where the thyroid produces less hormone than normal, but the individual may not yet exhibit overt symptoms of thyroid disease. In conclusion, a poor diet and nutrient deficiencies are significant contributors to thyroid dysfunction. Deficiencies in key nutrients such as iodine, selenium, zinc, iron, vitamin D, and vitamin B12 can directly impair the thyroid's ability to produce and regulate hormones, leading to symptoms of hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. A diet rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods and low in processed foods and sugars is essential for maintaining optimal thyroid function and overall health. By addressing nutrient deficiencies through diet or supplementation, individuals can support their thyroid health and reduce the risk of developing thyroid diseases. Stress is a significant factor that can adversely affect thyroid health, as both chronic physical and emotional stress can lead to thyroid dysfunction. The connection between stress and thyroid problems is complex and involves a variety of physiological mechanisms. The body's response to stress activates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis, which regulates the release of stress hormones like cortisol. While this response is essential for survival in acute stress situations, chronic or prolonged stress can have harmful effects on thyroid function and disrupt the delicate balance of hormones that regulate metabolism and energy levels. Cortisol and thyroid hormone production cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone, is produced by the adrenal glands in response to stress. When cortisol levels are consistently elevated due to ongoing stress, they can interfere with the normal production and function of thyroid hormones. Elevated cortisol can suppress thyroid function, leading to a condition known as cortisol-induced hypothyroidism. This occurs because cortisol inhibits the conversion of T4, the active thyroid hormone, into T3, the active form of thyroid hormone. In a state of chronic stress, the body may produce enough T4 but be unable to convert it effectively into T3, leading to symptoms of hypothyroidism such as fatigue, weight gain, depression, and difficulty concentrating. In addition to inhibiting the conversion of T4 to T3, cortisol can also reduce the effectiveness of thyroid hormone at the cellular level. Cortisol can block the binding of thyroid hormones to their receptors, preventing them from entering cells and exerting their metabolic effects. This can contribute to feelings of fatigue and sluggishness, as well as a slower metabolism. Chronic stress can thus create a state of thyroid resistance, where the body produces adequate thyroid hormones, but the hormones are not able to function effectively in regulating metabolism. The role of the HPA axis and adrenal glands. The HPA axis, which includes the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands, is activated during times of stress to initiate the release of cortisol. When the body experiences stress, the hypothalamus signals the pituitary gland to release adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, which then stimulates the adrenal gland to produce cortisol. While this response is essential in managing short-term stress, Chronic activation of the HPA axis can lead to a variety of health problems, including thyroid dysfunction. Prolonged stress can lead to adrenal fatigue, a condition in which the adrenal glands become overworked and less able to produce cortisol. As cortisol production declines, the thyroid may also suffer, as the balance between cortisol and thyroid hormones becomes disrupted. This can lead to a situation where both adrenal and thyroid dysfunction are present, compounding symptoms and making diagnosis and treatment more complex. Adrenal fatigue and thyroid problems often occur together in individuals experiencing chronic stress, and both conditions can lead to symptoms such as low energy, difficulty sleeping, weight gain, and mental fog. Chronic stress and immune system activation stress also activates the immune system, which can have detrimental effects on thyroid function, particularly for individuals who are genetically predisposed to autoimmune thyroid diseases like Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Graves' disease. The immune system's response to stress can lead to inflammation and the release of cytokines, which are signaling molecules involved in immune responses. Chronic stress increases the production of pro-eliminator cytokines, which can stimulate an autoimmune attack on the thyroid gland. For individuals with autoimmune thyroid diseases, stress can act as a trigger for flare-ups or the worsening of symptoms. In autoimmune thyroid conditions, the immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid gland, leading to inflammation, swelling, and dysfunction. Stress can exacerbate this process by promoting the production of autoantibodies that target the thyroid. In the case of Graves' disease, stress may worsen hyperthyroidism, while in Hashimoto's thyroiditis, stress may contribute to further thyroid tissue destruction and an increase in hypothyroid symptoms. The impact of emotional stress, including anxiety, depression, and trauma, can also have a significant impact on thyroid health. Emotional stress leads to an increase in cortisol levels, which, as previously mentioned, can interfere with thyroid hormone production and conversion. Additionally, stress can lead to behaviors that negatively affect thyroid health, such as poor diet choices, lack of exercise, and inadequate sleep. Emotional stress can trigger unhealthy coping mechanisms like overeating, drinking alcohol, or smoking, all of which can disrupt thyroid function and contribute to thyroid problems. Research has shown that individuals with chronic emotional stress are at a higher risk of developing autoimmune thyroid diseases, particularly if they have a family history of these conditions. For example, women who experience significant emotional trauma, such as the loss of a loved one or chronic anxiety, may be more likely to develop Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Graves' disease, especially if they are genetically predisposed. The connection between emotional stress and thyroid disease is particularly evident in autoimmune thyroid disorders, where stress acts as a trigger for the onset or exacerbation of the disease. Sleep and stress. The relationship between stress and sleep is another critical factor that affects thyroid health. Chronic stress often leads to sleep disturbances, which in turn can affect thyroid function. Poor sleep can increase cortisol levels, perpetuating the cycle of stress and thyroid dysfunction. Inadequate sleep can also impair the body's ability to repair and regenerate thyroid tissue, further compounding thyroid problems. Furthermore, poor sleep quality has been linked to an increased risk of hypothyroidism, as it can interfere with the body's hormonal balance and disrupt the functioning of the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis, which regulates thyroid hormone production. Stress and lifestyle factors. The impact of stress on thyroid health is not only due to the physiological effects of cortisol and inflammation, but also the lifestyle changes that often accompany high levels of stress. When individuals are stressed, they may neglect self-care practices such as exercising, eating a healthy diet, and getting enough rest, all of which are essential for maintaining proper thyroid function. Stress can also lead to increased consumption of caffeine, which may further exacerbate thyroid problems by stimulating the adrenal glands and increasing cortisol production. High caffeine intake can disrupt sleep, elevate stress levels, and interfere with thyroid hormone production. Moreover, stress can lead to poor digestive health, which can negatively affect nutrient absorption and the body's ability to maintain thyroid function. Chronic stress is often associated with conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or leaky gut syndrome, which can impair nutrient absorption and increase inflammation in the body. Since key nutrients like iodine, selenium, and zinc are necessary for thyroid health, compromised digestive function due to stress can lead to nutrient deficiencies and thyroid dysfunction. Managing stress to support thyroid health. Managing stress is crucial for maintaining healthy thyroid function and overall well-being. Techniques such as meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing exercises, and yoga can help reduce stress and lower cortisol levels. Engaging in regular physical activity, such as walking, swimming, or cycling, is also effective for managing stress and promoting the healthy functioning of the HPA axis and thyroid. Additionally, practicing good sleep hygiene and ensuring adequate rest is essential for maintaining a healthy stress response and supporting thyroid health. Adopting a holistic approach to stress management that includes both physical and emotional strategies is key for preventing or mitigating thyroid dysfunction related to chronic stress. Reducing the impact of stress on the body can improve thyroid health, alleviate symptoms, and help individuals achieve better overall health outcomes. Environmental toxins and chemicals are increasingly recognized as significant contributors to thyroid dysfunction. The modern world exposes individuals to a wide variety of synthetic chemicals, heavy metals, and pollutants that can interfere with thyroid function and disrupt the endocrine system. The thyroid gland, which plays a critical role in regulating metabolism, growth, and development, is particularly vulnerable to these toxins. Many of these substances can mimic or interfere with the body's natural hormones, leading to imbalances that contribute to thyroid problems. The effects of environmental toxins on thyroid health are complex and multifactorial, often involving a combination of chemical exposure, genetic predisposition, and lifestyle factors. Endocrine disruptors and thyroid health. A major category of chemicals that impact thyroid function are known as endocrine disruptors. These are chemicals that can interfere with the endocrine hormonal system, which includes the thyroid. Endocrine disruptors can mimic or block hormones, disrupt hormone production, or alter hormone metabolism. Common endocrine disruptors include bisphenol A, BPA, phthalates, pesticides, and polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs. These chemicals are found in a variety of consumer products, including plastics, personal care products, food packaging, and household cleaning supplies. Over time, exposure to these chemicals can accumulate in the body and interfere with thyroid function, leading to hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, or other thyroid issues. PPA, for example, is a widely used chemical in the manufacture of plastic products and epoxy resins, which are commonly found in food and beverage containers. Research has shown that BPA can bind to estrogen receptors in the body, disrupting the normal hormonal balance. Studies suggest that BPA exposure can affect the production of thyroid hormones and may contribute to both hypothyroidism and hypothyroidism. The chemical can also impact the conversion of T4 to T3, leading to thyroid resistance, heavy metals, and thyroid dysfunction. Heavy metals are another category of environmental toxins that can interfere with thyroid function. Metals such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic are toxic to the thyroid gland and can disrupt the production and regulation of thyroid hormones. Lead, for example, has been shown to inhibit the uptake of iodine by the thyroid, which is essential for the production of thyroid hormones. In the presence of lead, the thyroid may not be able to produce sufficient hormones, leading to symptoms of hypothyroidism. Mercury is another heavy metal that has a direct impact on thyroid health. It is commonly found in certain fish, dental fillings, and industrial emissions. Mercury exposure can reduce the conversion of T4 into the active form of thyroid hormone, T3, leading to lower levels of active thyroid hormone in the body. Additionally, mercury can induce oxidative stress in the thyroid gland, leading to inflammation and damage. People with higher mercury levels may experience symptoms of hypothyroidism, including fatigue, weight gain, and cognitive difficulties. Pesticides and thyroid function. Pesticides are widely used in agriculture to protect crops from pests, but many of these chemicals have been shown to have adverse effects on human health, including the thyroid. Pesticides, particularly organophosphates and organocarbamates, are known to interfere with thyroid hormone production by disrupting the activity of enzymes involved in thyroid hormone synthesis and metabolism. Exposure to these chemicals has been linked to a variety of thyroid disorders, including both hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Research has also shown that pesticide exposure can increase the risk of developing autoimmune thyroid diseases such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. The chronic exposure to low levels of pesticides over time can lead to thyroid dysfunction by affecting the immune system and promoting inflammation. Furthermore, people who live or work in areas with heavy pesticide use, such as agricultural communities, may be at greater risk of developing thyroid problems due to prolonged exposure. Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, and thyroid health polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, are a group of industrial chemicals that were widely used in electrical equipment, paints, and other products before being banned due to their harmful effects on human health and the environment. However, PCBs remain persistent in the environment and continue to pose a risk to thyroid health. PCBs can disrupt the thyroid hormone system by affecting the synthesis, release, and metabolism of thyroid hormones. Studies have shown that long-term exposure to PCBs can lead to changes in thyroid hormone levels, which may contribute to both hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. PCBs can also affect the thyroid by disrupting the blood-brain barrier, which is responsible for protecting the brain from harmful substances. This can lead to changes in the central regulation of thyroid function, which in turn can affect overall thyroid health. People living in areas with high levels of environmental contamination, such as near industrial sites or waste dumps, may be at an increased risk of PCB exposure and thyroid problems. Fluoride and thyroid function. Fluoride, commonly added to drinking water and dental products for its benefits in preventing tooth decay, has been shown to affect thyroid function in certain individuals. Some studies suggest that fluoride exposure may reduce thyroid function by interfering with iodine uptake or by directly inhibiting the activity of thyroid peroxidase, an enzyme necessary for thyroid hormone production. Excessive fluoride exposure has been linked to hypothyroidism in areas where high levels of fluoride are present in drinking water, particularly in regions where fluoride concentrations exceed recommended levels. The connection between fluoride and thyroid function is still an area of active research, but some studies have suggested that long-term exposure to high levels of fluoride can result in goiter and lower levels of thyroid hormones. In individuals who are already iodine deficient, the effects of fluoride exposure on thyroid function may be more pronounced. This has led to concerns about the potential long-term effects of fluoride on thyroid health, particularly in areas where fluoride levels in drinking water are not closely monitored. Air pollution and thyroid health. Air pollution is another environmental factor that can have a significant impact on thyroid health. Fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, which is a component of air pollution, has been linked to thyroid dysfunction. Studies suggest that exposure to polluted air can disrupt thyroid function by increasing oxidative stress and inflammation, which can damage thyroid tissue and affect hormone production. People living in urban areas with high levels of air pollution may be at greater risk of thyroid problems, especially if they also have other risk factors like a family history of thyroid disease or poor diet. In addition to particulate matter, air pollution contains a wide wide range of toxic chemicals, including volatile organic compounds, VOCs, which can interfere with the endocrine system. Chronic exposure to air pollution has been associated with an increased risk of autoimmune thyroid diseases, including Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. Research indicates that the combination of environmental toxins, such as pollutants, and genetic susceptibility may increase the risk of thyroid dysfunction. Personal care products and household chemicals. Many personal care products, such as lotions, shampoos, and deodorants, contain synthetic chemicals that can act as endocrine disruptors and interfere with thyroid function. Chemicals like parabens, phthalates, and triclosan are commonly used in cosmetics and toiletries. But research suggests that these substances can mimic thyroid hormones and disrupt the normal function of the thyroid gland. Parabens, for example, are preservatives used in cosmetics and have been shown to interfere with the production of thyroid hormones. Household cleaning products are another source of toxic chemical exposure that can affect thyroid health. Many conventional cleaning products contain chemicals like triclosan, chlorine, and ammonia, all of which can have endocrine disrupting effects. Prolonged exposure to these chemicals, especially in poorly ventilated areas, can increase the risk of thyroid problems over time. Many of these substances have been linked to changes in thyroid hormone levels, contributing to thyroid dysfunction. Reducing exposure to environmental toxins. Given the widespread exposure to environmental toxins, it is important to take proactive steps to reduce the risk of thyroid dysfunction. One effective way to limit exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals is by choosing products that are free from BPA, phthalates, and other harmful substances. For example, opting for BPA-free plastics, using natural cleaning products, and choosing organic foods when possible can help reduce chemical exposure. Additionally, avoiding the use of personal care products that contain synthetic fragrances, parabens, or other chemicals is an important step in minimizing endocrine disruption. Using air purifiers to reduce indoor pollution and ensuring proper ventilation in homes can also help decrease exposure to harmful pollutants. It is also essential to be mindful of the water quality in your area, as high levels of contaminants such as fluoride and heavy metals can negatively impact thyroid health. People living in areas with known pollution problems should consider water filtration systems to reduce their exposure to harmful substances. In conclusion, environmental toxins and chemicals, ranging from endocrine disruptors like BPA to heavy metals like mercury, can have significant negative effects on thyroid health. Prolonged exposure to these substances can interfere with thyroid hormone production, disrupt the endocrine system, and contribute to a variety of thyroid disorders, including hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, and autoimmune thyroid diseases. By taking steps to reduce exposure to environmental toxins, individuals can help protect their thyroid health and reduce the risk of developing thyroid issues. In conclusion, thyroid problems are a multifaceted issue influenced by a wide range of factors, from genetics and diet to environmental toxins and stress. Understanding the root causes of thyroid dysfunction can empower individuals to make informed decisions about their lifestyle, health, and environment to reduce risks and promote overall well-being. Early detection, proactive management, and adopting healthier habits such as balanced nutrition, stress management, and minimizing exposure to harmful chemicals can significantly improve thyroid health. With increased awareness and a commitment to taking care of our bodies, we can work towards better thyroid health and a more sustainable future for ourselves and those around us.